Good morning. I didn't announce that I was going live, but I'm getting ready. I actually am going to be like a featured speaker on a Zoom in a little over an hour. So time kind of got away from me a little bit this morning. So now I'm going to go ahead and get ready. And I had something like 20 minutes ago, like, oh my God, you need to go live and you need to talk about that. I kind of remember what it is. I'm not really sure because right now I really need to fix my vibe because I'm so sick of the political calls already. Like my phone just rings and rings and rings, and I already hate the phone. The phone is kind of a trigger for me. I hate that. That's like, it's practically an alarm clock. I really don't, it's not that I don't like people to call me. I just infrequently, right? Like very special people and, you know, like family and check on family and stuff like that. But other than that, I'm just not really a phone person. I really hate the phone. I always have been. My sister was the one who always was more of the phone person when we were growing up, and I was more of the introvert and the recluse. I mean, that's me, right? So the political texting and the political phone calls is, it's like woosah. But if that's what it's going to take to get that eviction notice, I'm good with it, okay? But so we're going to go ahead and do a quick get ready with me. I've already done my skincare. I'm going to add just a little bit of eye cream because I like to use that to prime the eye. And there was something I had wanted to talk about. I don't remember what it was. It was, you know, along the lines of personal branding and making sure that you brand you. Nothing is going to tell your customer or would-be customer why they should get down with you like you, right? And I think dang, today is really busy. I got a lot going on. So, you know, that's what I was originally thinking, and I had some like really good like stuff in my head, but between, you know, you go in the bathroom and you tidy up a little bit because, you know, you're in there, right? And then next thing you know, you're downstairs and you're getting ready to do this, and then like the 18th political call in a day is ringing your phone, and it's annoying, and especially for me. So I'm a little thrown off. Anyway, so come on in, say hello, let me know that you are here, that you are watching. We're going to go ahead and get started on these dark under eye circles and go from there. And hopefully whatever I was inspired to talk to you about 12 minutes ago is going to come back to me, because I'm not going to say I'm annoyed. I'm not going to accept that. I'm not going to accept that I'm annoyed. I'm just going to work it out and figure it out. But so help me God, they better not call while I'm on this live, okay? Hey, Dakisha girl, hey. They better not call while I am on this live. You know, because I was tempted to turn off the cellular data, the cellular stuff, right? And I didn't, because sometimes, especially with everybody working from home and Zooming and all that stuff, what you call that, bandwidth gets a little low as it is. So I was concerned, like, well, if I'm live, which already pulls a lot of bandwidth, if I turn the cellular data off and then the Wi-Fi starts wigging out, am I going to lose connection? So I didn't turn it off. So let's just put that out there, that they're going to leave me alone long enough to do this live, okay? Because I got to keep track of time here too, because I still got to get hair on and I got to get my clothes on too, or at least from the top. So anywho, how y'all doing today? Come on in and say hello. Doing a little bit of cover up here. Someone's laughing at me. I mean, like, for real. Like, the calls is just like, and they call from like I've blocked so many numbers, and then they call from all these different numbers, and it's like, oh my God. And when it's not them, it's people calling about a warranty that I don't have. It's people calling about, oh, you won a hotel stay at what's that stuff, Marriott or something like that. It's like, no, leave me be. So here we are. I will say this concealer, between the concealer and the eye cream, it really does minimize puffiness. I am loving that because the concealer has caffeine in it, and that is awesome. And so we're just gonna blend that in. This has a orange undertone to it, and it's more of matching my skin tone. So that's what we're doing here. We're not going to focus on highlighting just yet. Yeah, it's annoying. Like, dude, lose my number. I ain't gonna lie, sometimes I cuss them out. Because, like, it's interrupting. Like, I use my phone for work. Respect my hustle. Respect it. Put some respect on my hustle. Like, for real. You know? Like, seriously. Like, I'm like, a lot of times it's like I'm creating stuff and I've been knocked out of apps and lost what I was doing because of these calls. And it's like, dude, now you're messing with my money. And that's the problem. Like, you will get cussed out to the hilt for that. So, yeah. There's a little bit more. No, you can't see it necessarily on camera, but I can see it. I can see it. And see, they got me all messed up because I was supposed to put my little eye mask on. But luckily, like I said, I mean, the under eyes are looking way better than they looked yesterday. Because I did a video, a little reel, trying to learn the little reels things on Instagram. And yeah. The before was like, woo, child. Woo, what? Okay, do I want to do my eyes first? No, I'm just going to do my routine the way that I do my routine, right? The way I've always done it, the way you've always seen me do it. And that is, you know, I do my face first because that's just the way that I do it. So I'm going to go into foundation shade 17. Oh, I did spray my face already. And I do one full pump. And then I'm going to go and I do just a little bit of pump of 18 just to put a little bit more, because my undertone isn't quite red. It's kind of orangey lately. So put just a little bit of, what shade is that? Shade 18 there. And we're going to get this on here. So I really, like I said, I really had something on my heart about like personal branding. And so I think what I'm going to do is, let's talk a little bit about the difference between creating content and curating content. Everybody okay with that? Can you let me know in the in the comments what you think about us discussing the difference between creation and curating content, because it's important to know the two, because I do both, right? And if it's not something you want to talk about, then I don't want to talk about it. So just let me know in the comments what you think about that. So here we go. And this is a nice natural dewy look, right? And so this would be great if I were running errands and going to the grocery store back when we did stuff like that. But now I order everything through like Instacart, Amazon Fresh, and you know the store directly, and they work with Instacart. So but when I'm gonna do like a live video, I tend to want just a little bit more. So I'm gonna pull out, not just yet though, I'm probably gonna still pull out my full coverage concealer and put that under the eye just to really mask it all. But I mean, look at this. This is a perfect match. And it's glowing and it's pretty, and you can see I got my edges. I actually have to trim my edges quite a bit. And ain't no gray hairs. Team no gray hairs still. I check regularly, right? Not that I expect them, but I expect them to stay the hell away. Just not interested in that. So just make sure we got it all in there and blend it out. Good. I love how it just makes the complexion say, hey, I'm here. How you doing, right? Somebody messaged me last week and they're like, I need you to go live. You're so funny when you go live. I'm like, really? I think I'm one of the most boring, uninteresting people on earth, unless I'm ranting or going on a tirade. Then I'm probably a little bit more comical. I admit. So I'm going to use my Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade, because once we got those bags packed away, I like to make sure my brows are looking good. So Andrea Wood, Dakisha says, looks natural too. I know, I love it. Okay, so y'all are here for talking about creating versus, what did I tell you? What did I say? They were gonna call. They, from a different number that I've never seen before. Whoosah, right? Like, leave me alone. Like, honestly, they do text a lot, but I can live with that because it's not interrupting what I do, because I have more control over that. And what I need iPhone to do, what I need Apple to do, is to make it so that do not disturb means do not disturb me at all. Don't just not disturb me when the phone is at rest. That doesn't mean no good. I want to not be disturbed when I'm on the phone and doing things. So we need to let the dude who replaced Steve Jobs know that, because, whew, child, let me tell you. Okay, so creation versus curating content. My personal, okay, so let me define. Hey girl, hey, my boo-boo Kelly is on here, boo-boo kitty. So check this out. So creating content is, I like to be of the mind space of owning things that make sense for me to own. And my content that I create, I own it because I created it, right? And then curating content is when you go out and you find information from reputable sources. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you, like most things with Tamira, I'm going to tell you it's not an either or game. It's a matter of what is your mix of created versus curated content. So you probably are like, okay, so you told me what curated content is, but can you give me some examples? So you will see, especially on my marketing page, that I often will share articles from sources that I have deemed to be reputable, right? So different social media agencies, different marketing agencies, different even apps, like Tailwind is like a great app for Pinterest and Instagram. So I will share blog posts from their blog, not my own blog, but their blog. I will even quote them sometimes on my own blog posts. So when I share their blog post on my social media feed, that's curated content. Curated content may be, having your favorite Instagram accounts and you share their content either to your stories or you repost it to your own feed, okay? And let me give you an example of accounts that do nothing but curate. The Shade Room is a curated account. That's all they do, is they go out to celebrities and other big accounts and they reshare their content. Yet what they do though, we got to get to it now because the way my brain works lately, I might not remember later. So what they do though, from a branding standpoint, is they still put their logo on everything that they go out and take a screenshot of and repost, right? So that way they're still branding themselves and they're creating their own brand simultaneously, while 90% of their content is curated and the other 10 is paid ads, people that pay them to advertise on their platform. And so if you're not familiar with the Shade Room, you can go look them up on Instagram, and that is an example of a curated account. Now, as a business owner with a product or service that you need to sell, like today, I'm going to be completely honest with you, thinking that you can go out and do what the Shade Room did is going to cost you time and money, okay? And here's why. Because they didn't advertise right away. They built up their audience first, right? And so the quickest way to build up your audience, to me, is your own content. And a lot of that content, the vast majority of that content, needs to be you, your face, your voice, okay? So what I'm saying is stop relying on other people for your content. Because I see it a lot often. People in network marketing, for example, look to content created by the company. They look to content created by top leaders, and they just want to, for lack of a better term, be lazy and share that content. And one of the things that I have found, I can only speak to what has worked for Tamira, right? One of the things that I have found in over 7 years, like 7.5 years now of doing this, is that me creating my own content made me stand out, right? It made me stand out because it was my face, it was my voice, and me telling my experience. And that's what makes people want to follow me. That's what makes people want to learn from me, buy from me. I mean, I've literally had people say, you're my trusted skincare source. And here's the thing. While I'm looking crazy right now, I'm not an esthetician. I've never been to cosmetology school. So I'm transparent about that, like all the time. And yet people still look to me because they know that I do the research. They know I put the time in. They know I've invested in myself, and I continually invest in myself. So I hate to break it to you, but you're going to have to figure out your own little niche, and you're really going to have to work that niche in the beginning. And that's what's going to make you stand out, because you're going to need credibility, you're going to need authority, and that's not going to come from always chasing after someone else and saying, well, so-and-so said, so-and-so said, so-and-so said, right? What did you say? What did you think? And as long as you are not out here talking about you can heal people and that you're diagnosing and all that, you're good. Just tell people, this is what I've researched, this is what I've learned, these are things to consider. Definitely talk to your medical professional, for example, and things like that, and you're good. But for me, what made people take notice from me initially, before my makeup skills were decent, it was lips. That's all I posted about, was lips, right? And then as contouring became a thing, and I was the kid on the school bus whose cheeks jiggled, even though I was skinny. I always had this big, it's just, I mean, you see my grandbaby, right? That's why everybody thinks she looks like me, those big old cheeks, right? And we get it from my daddy, right? So I was the, no matter how much weight I lose, I'm going to have cheeks, right? So contouring was very appealing to me because I like the idea of being able to sculpt my face, or as I used to tweet out, you can lose up to 7 pounds in 3 minutes flat, right? So contouring became a huge part of my brand. Guess what else is a huge part of my brand to this day? Covering up those dark under eye circles, minimizing dark under eye circles as I mature, because I don't age, as I mature, how to deal with the lines, the wrinkles, and all of that stuff. Because I don't have them. I do have some lines, but I do not have wrinkles. But, how to do all that came more into play. So I'm dangling like a Christmas tree. There we go. Fix that. Because I get a little excited sometimes. So you need to develop your personal brand. Your personal brand needs to be you. And I'm going to tell you an observation that I have, and you can take it and you can do what you want to with it. Stories is absolutely where it's at, especially on Facebook. Reels more so on Instagram than stories. But here's what I'm going to tell you. Y'all are posting way too many words in stories, and they're little. I saw someone do a training teaching people stories, and every one of their stories, I can't read whatever they put on their story because it's little micro size. It's like super small. Like, how did you even see that while you were typing it, right? And there's just way too many words. I want you to understand, with a story, you got up to 15 seconds per slide. So 15 seconds per slide. Considering, somebody looked this up on Google for me. How many words does the average person read per minute, right? And then you got to divide that by 4 to get what they're reading in 15 seconds. And that's going to tell you the maximum number of words on your slide, and you still don't even want to do that many. You probably want to do a third of that, okay? Because if you got a slide with 100 words on it, I can tell you, even the most speedy reader is not reading 100 words in 15 seconds. Less talking to mirror, more makeup, okay? So you got to think about those things. And so some of these slides are pretty, but they're ineffective. And it's up to you to be able to know the difference, right? And the way you know that difference is you first put yourself in the reader, the person you would love to be your customer, the person you're trying to build a relationship with. You put yourself in their shoes, right? So back to our topic on creation versus curation. Where that comes into play is I curate a lot of content that I don't post. Yep. I curated a lot of content that I don't post because what that content does is it serves as inspiration for future content for me, right? I look at it and I'm like, oh, either it's perfect and I just want to be able to recreate it and put my own name on it, and I want to make it look more Tamira like and fit the Tamira brand, or let me fix what's wrong with it and make it even better, and also at the same time put the Tamira spin on the Tamira brand colors and all that stuff, right? And so that's what you got to do. I mean, building a brand takes time and effort. And your audience, this is like money advice right here. This is absolute money advice. Like, if I were you, I would be writing this down on a napkin or whatever I had in front of me, right? Your audience is going to reward you for the effort. I promise you. It's one of my biggest takeaways in 7 years. Your audience is going to reward you for the effort that you've expended, right? And I know that might sound a little contradictory to what I say about when you're in the beginning, people are focused way too much on brand colors and that, and it doesn't. And I'm going to tell you why. Because in the beginning, it's not about having the prettiest website and the prettiest brand colors and all that stuff. Because in the beginning, the content is you. You need to be the content. And I see way too many people doing everything and spending a whole lot of effort avoiding being the content when they need to be the content. You need to be the content, right? And that's just that. Like, you got to be going live. You got to be posting pictures of you. You got to be, sharing your vulnerabilities and how you're getting past those vulnerabilities. Okay? You got to share your growth. You got to share where you are and let the audience figure out how far you've come. Let the audience figure that out. Let them figure out how far you've come, right? A couple years ago, I started hearing it a lot. Oh my God, I've seen how your makeup skills have grown. I've seen it, right? Because I was very vulnerable. And I'm not telling you this from a judgmental standpoint, because I was with a company that had a heightened obsession with celebrity and with using people other than their distributors as the face of their brand, right? As their customer. And that actually made me feel a little insecure at one point. And I felt like, well, geez, maybe I'm just not good enough. But my audience said, yes, you are, and we want to see more of you. They demanded that of me. And I will say that to them, like, you want me? I mean, what about this girl here? Like, and they couldn't relate to her was the problem. They couldn't relate to her because she was younger than them. She, just was not relatable to them. They had the connection with me. I was relatable to them, so they wanted to see me doing the contouring. They wanted to see me doing the makeup. And so that's when I had to, again, jump up outside of my comfort zone. Oh, that's pretty. Had to jump up outside of my comfort zone and meet what my audience told me they wanted. Oh my God. Oh, baby, purple smoky. Yes, honey. And give them what they wanted. And so I did. And guess what? They rewarded me for it with their loyalty and their orders and their referrals. And guess what? They still do to this day. Okay? So you are the content. You are the brand. You are the content, right? You are the brand. You are the content in the beginning. And then you're going to create all this supporting content, right? You're going to create all this supporting content that is going to be there for you to post and repost and repost and repost and repost, right? Because that's the problem. We think that we only get to post once. No, you get to post that more than once. You're just not going to post it multiple times in the same day. Okay? You're just not going to do it same day, every day, at the same time. But you're going to reuse it when it makes sense. So, why does one eye always look like I got punched? See what I mean? I guess we just gotta roll with it, huh? Just gotta roll with it. So, we'll do a little bit of simple liner. So, another thing you can do when we talk about creating versus curating is you can take curated content like we talked about with the shade room, and you can brand it. And one of the ways you can do that is getting creative and doing things like collages. So if you remember back when I used to do the starter kits, like I used to do the Scandal starter kit, right? I would do like Olivia Pope starter kit like every year when the new season started. That's an example of taking curated content and branding it. You see big TV shows and magazines do this all the time. So you can go out and you can, some of that content that you love to share and give somebody else all the credit and give them all the spotlight, which of course we have an abundance mentality, right? I'm just not liking this eye. You can then take that and repurpose it aside from just putting your branding on there, right? You can really earn that by putting it in a different format, making it a video slideshow. And now this is money right here. I'm gonna give you some more money, okay? I'll give you some more money. You'd be amazed at how you might get noticed by celebrities, big brands, etc. by doing that. And they repost you, they feature you in their story and on their post. Now, I can't guarantee it. It's not necessarily your goal, but it could be a side effect. It could definitely be a side effect. Or it could be a strong side effect. And who's going to be mad at that, right? Nobody. Nobody. So, if it were me and I were launching, because y'all got to remember, I've got multiple years in the game here. Multiple years. So, I can come out of hiatus and really kind of kill it like I've been doing. Right? If you're just getting started, if you haven't built the audience, you haven't built the reputation and the brand that I have, you might not be able to do that. And that's okay. That just means you got to hustle that much harder in the beginning until you earn being able to say, well, I don't feel like going live today, so I'm not. But in the beginning, especially like the Periscope days, I went till I fell. I went until I couldn't, until I was just exhausted and I was tired. And I still have bouts where I do that now. Right? So it's up to you to figure that out. How much, when, and where. But you got to be bringing the content, and you are the brand. It's about you. People want to know not what you're just bringing from somebody else. Because if that's the case, they could go read it on that person's social media, on that person's blog, right? So you got to give them a reason to see you as the source, and they come to you, and that comes from how you put together the content, how you interpret it, and how you brand yourself with that content. Otherwise, your fear is right. Well, why would I share somebody else's content? They're going to go directly to the person. Yep. Because you didn't earn them coming to you. You didn't show them that, hey, this is the one-stop spot. Instead of having to go to, in the case of like the Shade Room, instead of having to go to 15 different celebrity accounts in a day, I can go to the Shade Room and I can get all the tea in one spot. And matter of fact, let me turn on notifications, because the Shade Room is going to be updating all day. The Shade Room puts the case for Oh, you don't post but 1 or 2 times a day, to shame. I think they do that in 15 minutes. Like, they post at least 20 times a day, right? But they're seen as a curated news feed. So they can do that. They can get away with that. It's not that you can't. You just have to build the audience that can withstand that and not expect and demand that of you, right? You have to know your audience, and we have to do something with this eye. So we're gonna put some shine out just to break this up a little bit, because I was talking a little too much. Yeah, I like that better. So you are the brand, you are the content. Stop posting essays on a slide in stories, because it just doesn't make any sense. It really, really doesn't. I'm not going to say people don't care about ingredients, because they do. You just got to know at what point to talk to them about ingredients. You know, and unless you know for a fact your audience is of the whole vibe of, you know, non-toxic, your audience is of the vibe of vegan, then yeah, that kind of stuff is important to bring out up front, right? Okay, so now we're gonna pull out the big guns, and we're almost done. I get so much shadow under there. I think that's the issue. Not eyeshadow, but shadow. Okay, so you can curate, but in the beginning it needs to be majority you. And I'm going to tell you another little secret of Tamira over here in Tamira land. I, like I said, do both. I typically maintain between a 70 to 90% created, with the remainder being curated, so 30 to 10% being curated. Why is that such a big gap? Because there are times when I'm in beast mode. When I'm in beast mode, it's all me, baby. I'm the star of this show, right? And then there are times when I might be a little tired, or because I've been in beast mode, there's so much going on that I got to rely on two things. I got to rely on my my old content and reposting that. And I also got to rely on curated content, and that's okay. That's okay. And that's when my mix might shift from 90-10 to 70-30, okay? But as much as I can, I'm taking content that I found inspiration in and rebranding it. I'll go through creation tornadoes, where I'm just creating, right? The problem with that is I have more content than I have news feed. So that means the next phase is to worry more about not creating content, but promoting the content that I've already created, right? Because a lot of people, that's why they feel they need to rely on other people's content, because they don't see the value in their own content because they posted it once. It didn't get any likes and nobody bought. No, that just means you need to post it again at a different time and a different day, okay? That's all that means. You need to post it at a different time and a different day. And you need to post it a few times before you know whether or not it doesn't work. Just posting at one time is not adequate measure of whether it works or not. It's just not. I hate to be the one to tell you, but it is what it is. It do what it do. Oh, bright eyes. I love when you show up. Oh, I forgot I'm on camera. I'm not by myself. I also like to do it at this point too because it kind of blends in with any blush, any highlight that I have on, and then it helps to make it look like it is coming from within the skin, and I can always go back over it with those things if I need to. And now we're going to Boys and Girls do a lip. I love this Jordana pencil. So the other thing before we go, and this just popped into my head, the other reason why it's important to be the content in the beginning is people complain so much about algorithms and what the algorithm does or doesn't do. And I'm going to tell you, who wants to know my secret to becoming the algorithm? Who wants to know my secret to becoming the algorithm? Because y'all keep hearing me talk about being the algorithm, being the algorithm. Well, what do you mean, Tamira? How do you become the algorithm? I'm going to tell you if you want to know. So let me know, because I don't have to tell you. So you can let me know in the comments if you want to know. We'll let you know. But because it's money advice, I'm not going to give it away if you don't want it. So just let me know. Oh, that's pretty. So let me know if you want it. Let me know if you would like to know my secret to becoming the algorithm, because this is good. This is good stuff. But you gotta let me know in the comments if you want to know. The people on the replay might want to know, so I'm gonna go ahead and tell it because I don't have a lot of time, right? So the secret to becoming the algorithm is you be the content, right? If you are the content and you know where your people are and you get your content to where the people are, you will become the algorithm. I need to do a talk on exactly what it means to be the algorithm. I'm in trouble if I can't find my mascara. Oh, it's right there. Duh. You would like to know. Okay. So, the secret to being the algorithm is to be the content. Because that's what the algorithm is all about. The algorithm is simply knowing what, for the geniuses and the people behind all the social dilemma, to know what content to put in front of other people. So you just got to know what content people are consuming and make more of that content with you as the focus of that content, right? And so a perk of that, a benefit of that, is that it actually grows your audience. And one of the ways that's not talked about as to how it grows your audience is if you are niching down, right? If you are talking about your specialty, right? I'm known for a few things. I'm known for makeup, but specifically under eyes, skin, lips, contouring. That's what I'm known for, right? I'm known for marketing. I'm known for being a marketing badass, right? And so what that means is people reach out to me to speak. I'm known for talking, even though I really don't talk a lot in my personal life. But when I come on here, I've got something to say. I don't come on here and waste your time with crocodile tears and trying to make you feel suckered into feeling sorry for me, and then therefore you want to, support me. No, I bring you value, right? And so because of that, I am continually asked to be on podcasts. I am continually asked to speak at colleges and universities about marketing. There are opportunities that I'm working on that I can't even talk to you about yet, right? But it's because I show up every single day. And no, that doesn't have to be live, but because I show up, I automatically end up becoming a subject matter expert, and therefore I am given opportunities to speak as a subject matter expert. And every time I speak as a subject matter expert, guess what I do? I share where you can find me, on social media. And guess what happens? People show up and they follow me and they interact with me. right? And so that is the secret to growing your audience, because a lot of people, y'all think they got mega audiences just by posting every day online. And some of them did, but some of them were also doing things they weren't supposed to do, like using bots and stuff like that, right? But then they also got big audiences because they were featured on Forbes. They were featured on all these different venues and podcasts, and that grew their audience. It also gave them credibility and authority. Okay? And so I know that part is not for everyone, but at the very least, you still need to be the content. I'm going to say it until I'm blue in the face. You are the content. You are the brand. And it's time to start acting like it. It's time to start creating like it. It's time to start promoting like it. You need to, we complain about, well, I'm not there because I'm not so-and-so, and they got a big audience, and that's why they can do it. Well, why don't you take a look at what they're doing and start doing more of that, right? Why don't you take a look at what they're doing, or that's where you want to be, and start acting like you're there today, and you will get there. Because that's what I did. That's what I did. There was nobody that couldn't tell me that I couldn't have 10,000 followers on Instagram. And I kept going until I got 10,000 followers on Instagram. And then that 10,000 quickly turned into almost 25,000. Right? Because at some point you hit critical speed. And then I did like everybody else. I became a crybaby that I wasn't getting to 50 fast enough. And so then I started slowing down, and then I actually started losing. And now it's just really difficult to get more followers on Instagram without being on there all day, every day. And I got other things to do. So you got to show up. You got to show up every day. Okay? You got to show up. You got to show up every day. And the majority of your content in the beginning has to be you. Right? Because I want you to understand that live video, like this live video, I'm going to turn it into at least 3 to 5 other pieces of content. I don't have to create any other content the rest of the week. I can take this live video and turn it not into only 3 to 5 pieces of content, but for multiple businesses of my own. I got content from this video for my marketing business. I've got content for my face, for the makeup, right? And so you just always have to be thinking like that. And as long as you put the customer and the end user at the heart, at the center of everything that you do, and you focus on them and meeting their needs, and you show up and you present yourself in a way that connects with them, and you actually connect with them, they will reward you in the end. But it's time to stop hiding behind other people. It's time to stop hiding behind other people's content. You are your brand. You are the brand, you are the content, you are everything, and you have to show up. And then at some point you got to ask people for the business. You got to ask for it. They ain't gonna give it to you until you ask, right? You got to ask them in your posts, you got to ask them in the comments, and you most importantly got to ask them privately, one-on-one, when you have those one-on-one connections. Because if your content isn't leading to connection and conversation, then you definitely need to hit me up for a coaching session on the marketing side of my business, because your content needs to be leading to conversation. If your content isn't filling your inbox, if your content isn't driving people to ask you for more information, you're doing something wrong. And I guarantee you it's probably because you're not even connected to the content you're sharing. So why is your audience being connected to it? I told y'all it was going to come out. I told y'all it was going to come out. There it is. You're posting content that you're not even connected to, that you don't even know why you're posting it, and you're sharing it, and you're wondering why you're not getting results, because you're not connected to the content, because you are the content, and you need to be sharing you. Okay? And that's that. Now y'all got me fired up for my call. I need to get my hair on. I'm never going to do that on camera. I don't care who asks. That's not going to happen. And I'm going to actually get a bra on, which is one of the benefits of going live in landscape. You can't see the girls hanging low, and get pretty from the top up. And I will talk to y'all later. But just remember that you are the content. People need to connect with you. They're not going to connect with something that somebody else created and there's none of you involved in it, right? And I don't mean like taking my perfectly created content and screwing it up with a bunch of filters. I mean, like, if you share my content as it is and then you put your words to it, baby, I guarantee you it's gonna work. It's gonna work. But you gotta put your words to it. You gotta put your spin on it. Okay? You gotta show up in your content. I don't care that it's curated. You still need to be in the mix, right? When they did the Wiz with Mary J. Blige, and I watched it, and y'all know we all love purple, right? So what I did was I put together a collage because I got inspiration from watching that. I didn't just repost her. I reposted her and said, oh my God, that look inspired me, and here's all the colors that I have that would go with that purple outfit that she had on the Wiz on stage. Right? So I didn't just take and say, oh, look at Mary J. I took it and I made it Tamira because it inspired me, and I transferred that inspiration to the content. Okay? And that's what you got to be able to do. You got to be able to show up every day in every single piece of content, whether you created it or not. Okay? Whew. I feel better now. See how this works? See how this works? Now I'm lifted. My vibe is right where it needs to be for me to go on this live that I'm going to get pretty for in like 10 minutes and get on. And y'all helped me get there because I am the content. I am the brand. Okay? So just remember that. I got to go. I will talk to y'all. Oh, let me drop that link while I'm here. If you saw anything that I used, I know I didn't talk a lot about it, but I do have an amazing collection that will give you a free purchase, a free gift with your purchase, and that is this stuff here, okay? The palette, the mascara, the liner, and you get a free cosmetic case. So I'm going to drop the link for that, and then I really got to go. Then I got to go. And I'm horrible at typing with this keyboard here. Okay, and let me pin that, and then I'm gonna go. Woo, I did it. I did it. It worked. I want you to see how this all fits in this case too, because there's already a bunch of stuff in here. So I want you to see how this fits in the case, because you get your choice between noir and cafe, and look at how it all just fits in there. And then you still got room for so much other stuff, honey. You can even fit the spray if I didn't have all this other stuff in there, right? It's a nice bag. It's not a cheap, flimsy little old bag. Okay, let me take some of these lipsticks out of here. But you can fit stuff in here, I promise you. Because that's one of my secrets. I'm kind of a bag lady. I got pencils, I got all kinds of stuff in there. So see, it all fits. It all fits. It's nice. It's kind of like pleathery for you vegans, right? So I got a couple of these, but we don't do a lot of discounting with our brand. I love that, right? But we will give you a free gift with purchase, because that's what luxury brands do. We're in alignment. So I'm gonna go now.